Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Tecnifibre T-Fight 315S. The heaviest racket in Tecnifibre's flagship franchise gets updated with a softer feel and more powerful beam. The S in the racket's name designates the 98 square inch head as opposed to the larger 100 square inch models. In addition to its spin-friendly precision and excellent control, this racket's beam has been updated to deliver a more powerful response. Other notable features include strategically placed foam for a more solid feel at impact, along with an ISOFlex system for a consistent feel outside the sweet spot. Ideal for advanced players looking for controllable power and outstanding feel. From the very first hit, I noticed that updated feel in these T-Fights, and I really appreciated it because I remember feeling a little bit of a tinny response to the previous generation, and this one just felt so solid and fluid at impact. Especially on my ground strokes, I appreciated how I could really maneuver my angles, but I could still penetrate through the court, so I had good access to power, but still could create nice points and pull my opponent off the court when needed. I thought the racket played really solid at net. I felt in command of my volleys, very stable up there. If I were to knock it, I did find a little bit of instability at the tip of the racket. I think I could adjust with a little bit of customization, but I absolutely loved it on serves. I did not feel like I had any struggles at all whatsoever, no matter what I was hitting. Big, powerful flat serve, spin, and slice were all there. I feel like I'm in my Goldilocks era trying to find the perfect racket for me. This one is definitely one I would consider, but right now it's probably not going to be my choice, but I think it's a great racket for players looking for good controllable power.
So right off the bat, I was getting a lot of stability and it felt really crisp. The racket has a lot of power, but it also does not hold back from any of its maneuverability. The one thing I had on the ground strokes at least was that it has a very low launch angle, at least to me. Some people might actually like it, but at first I was hitting a lot in the net. Not too bad. The adjustment is very easy to do. Just hitting it a little bit higher with a little bit more racket head speed and you'll be perfectly fine. At the net though, amazing. I was able to hit a lot of drop volleys, which is I'm not very good at, so a lot of feel from this racket. The best thing I feel like I got from this frame was on serves. The kick serves especially. I don't get a lot of aces off of my second serve and I was able to get that from this. A lot of spin, I could hit a lot of angle, really open up the court. But on the flat serves is where I was not able to really go through the court. As rare as getting aces off my second serve is, it is also rare to see people hitting winners off of first serves, and that's something that I had to issue with. So I probably will be adding a little bit of weight to the top to make it a 330 swing weight just to deal with that part of the issue. Overall, this racket is made for that advanced, that experienced player looking for that stable, softer feel with that controllable power.
I was delighted to be named to this playtest. This is the new Tecnifibre T-Fight 315S. And with the prior editions, I'm gonna say this one is pretty amazing to me. The RA or the flex rating came down. However, I feel like the power level went up. I can't name exactly why, but instead of so much of an R-shaped beam, it is a little beefier. They're calling it more of like a D-shaped beam. So even though the flex rating's down, the power level's up. Comfort level still there, foam injection, everything. And like the rest of the play testers mentioned, the open pattern, 98 head size, very spin-friendly combination. And with a 315 gram frame weight, I think strung, these are in the mid 320 swing weight range. This was just a great all-court racket for me. If I was gonna knock one thing, this is very minimal. It didn't really pester me too much, but I would say a rectangular palette shape. I prefer something a little more quadratic or squared off. But overall, I just had a great time with this. One of my favorite 315 gram frames, period. And I would say shot-wise, probably my first serve going out wide was probably one of my favorite shots to hit. And then just basically wailing away from the baseline was my other favorite part of the playtest. Overall, just a great masterclass racket.
With this update to the T-Fight 315, I really noticed and enjoyed the stiffness on this one coming down a bit from the previous version. I was a big fan of the last one, but just noticed that stiffness over time, coming in at about 69 on the stiffness. This one's in the mid 60s. Really enjoyed that. Really like the feel of this one. It's got a crisp feel, nice pop, but not too stiff. And besides that, the weight, it just feels really nice in hand, 315. The swing weight just under 330, so gives you that mass and that plow through, but not too hefty or unwieldy. And the open string pattern gave me a ton of spin from the baseline, easy to create angles. And then on serve, I really liked it on the spin serves. I felt like I could hit the flat serve well, but it really accentuated like a kick and a slice serve. So All in all, I really like this racket. I would just kind of mess around with string to rein in the control a little bit closer to the 305 with that tighter pattern. And then also it just takes me a little bit of getting used to with the Tecnifiber grip shape. So I typically am a 3/8. I'd probably go down to a quarter just to get more comfortable with the grip. For this review, we tried a bunch of different Tecnifiber polys. In this one, we have the Razor Code White mains with the Razor Soft Lime in the crosses. In the other racket, we have Ice Code, all strung up at about 52 pounds. And for more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.